Hey, Melanie Phillips here of Midori Method. I'm an author, I'm a yoga teacher trainer, an Ayurvedic practitioner, and a bioenergy healer. And I have been thinking a lot, especially with this new age. I feel like I didn't grow up with the inundation of technology and Facebook and all of these new platforms that have arisen in the last, well, probably way longer than I've been on them, but that now it seems I'm definitely hooked into things like Facebook and texting and all of these things. And I've noticed with the students from my Inner Empowerment mentorship, one of the themes that comes up also is looking at ourselves in comparison to someone else externally, something else externally, whether that's something physical, something mental, something emotional, something material, that we're often understanding our own sense of self compared to what we have, don't have, what others have or don't have. So we're always getting our sense of self from the other, opposed to self-sourcing. And I really see this as we just never know what is going on for someone. They may have the most amazing Facebook feed and look like their life is together, and behind the scenes it may be a shambles, their health may be poor, their marriage may be falling apart. We just don't know. And instead of exhausting ourselves by looking outwards and comparing to what we perceive other people having or doing or being, that to spend that time, to spend that energy going inwards. And this has been something that I got sick over Christmas time and I was sort of forced to go inwards, and it sucked. And it really took me into myself and showed me the shadow areas of the things that I still need to address, the areas that, love is still not allowed into my beingness. So I really feel and see with my clients and see with my students that need to self-source and to spend more time looking inwards than outwards. And the trap of social media can be just that. So I have this Chinese parable that I've always loved, and I would love to share it with you. I think it just sums up everything so precisely. So here it goes. I'm going to read it from my computer. It says, once there was a Chinese farmer who worked his poor farm together with his son and their horse. When the horse ran off one day, neighbors came to say, "How unfortunate for you." And the farmer replied, "Maybe yes, maybe no." When the horse returned, followed by a herd of wild horses, the neighbors gathered around and exclaimed, "What good luck for you!" The farmer stayed calm and replied, "Maybe yes, maybe no." While trying to tame one of the wild horses, the farmer's son fell, broke his leg. He had to rest up and couldn't help with the farm chores. "How sad for you," the neighbors came and said to him, and of course the farmer responded with, "Maybe yes, and maybe no." And shortly thereafter, a neighboring army threatened the farmer's village. All the young men in the village were drafted to fight the invaders, and many died. But the farmer's son had been left out of the fighting because of his broken leg. People said to the farmer, "What a good thing your son couldn't fight." And the farmer responded, "Maybe yes, and maybe no." And I really see that we look out in our life and we're either judging our own life or someone else's, thinking, how lucky they are or how unlucky they are. And the reality is we don't know. We don't know the things that come in the form that look like gold and that look like magic for us may not be, and vice versa. Those times in our life where things are testing us, the times where we suffer the greatest losses and pain and grief, can be the most miraculous and beautiful moments and times in our life also. And I've had many experiences in my life where I've even thought, oh, this is going so well, and the reality is we don't know. About a year ago, I went to Bali and had, visions of having this wonderful time in Bali. And the reality was what happened, and I had lots of people saying, "Oh, you're so lucky and you get to live this life and you're going there." And I had created the time and the space to do that, but that's a whole other topic. I got really sick. I got salmonella and ended up sick for over a month and ended up in a hospital by myself. And it was not fun. It was not the holiday, the trip that I was looking for, but the growth and the learning that was in that experience and that process was pretty spectacular. Often after the fact, right? When I was in it, I did get a sense of something bigger than myself happening, and a sense of, oh shit, this isn't really what I thought this trip to Bali would be, but very quickly saw the teaching in it. So the disease of comparison is massive in our society and in our culture, and it feels like it's escalating and being amplified. And I invite you just to go back to that, the Chinese parable, and it brings me a lot of solace, and it brings me a lot of equanimity when I look day to day. Like, I actually don't know what's good for me and what's not, and I trust that whatever's in my life is here because I need it, and whatever's not in my life is not here because I don't need it. So I'm hoping that this will also serve you in your life, or something to consider. And thank you so much for those of you who are popped on here live with me. I totally appreciate you listening to me wax poetic, and I hope to see you soon. Much love. Ciao.